What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Rochelle, and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for tuning in, liking, sharing, and subscribing. You guys are the bomb.com. Okay, now in today's video, I am coming in hot with a budget recap for the entire year of 2021. That's right, I'm going to share with you how much money we were able to bring in, how much we spent in each category, and how I feel about our budget, and what goals I have for 2022. So if that's something you'd be into, then stick around. Okay, so first off, our budgets fluctuate like the wind. Honey, when we think we're going to bring in a certain amount, we ended up bringing in more. When we thought we were going to have a lot of extra money, we had the least. So that is why I love to do budget reviews. They unfortunately don't perform well on my channel, so I stopped doing them as a separate budget video. But let me know in the comments below if this is something you would like to see more of in the new year's schedule of videos, because I feel like you can budget the money, but if you don't come back around and say, hey, this is what really happened, you don't have a full view of what's going on with your budget. Now, we were also very focused on paying off our mortgage. I swear this helicopter came out of nowhere. And I have to admit that because we were being so gazelle intense with the mortgage last year, because we really wanted to pay it off last year, it was kind of boring. Our budget was kind of boring to even share. I also had some personal spending that we chose to do. And we wanted to keep that private because, you know, I share a lot of info on here. I don't want to share everything, but, you know, I'm constantly battling with myself with, you know, am I oversharing? Am I sharing enough? All of that stuff. So in the new year, I'm going to just try it with a clean slate, and we're just going to go hard. I'm going to share what feels right. So in the year 2021, we did not plan on it, but y'all, we brought in a total income of about $240,177.70. I will share where those sources of income mostly came from. Had a lot of unexpected income, had a lot of overtime that Micah absolutely killed it within. And so that is why I'm so consistent with giving him his coins every 2 weeks when he gets paid. I feel like we need to be giving him at least 10-20% of his income because he works very hard. Yes, he works hard for us as a family, but he is the one putting in the grunt work, getting up early, living off of hardly no sleep. So in the year 2022, my goal is for him to kind of woosah and not have to work a whole lot of overtime. I'm hoping to be able to contribute more to our financial sources of income. And so this is the plan. This is the plan. Okay. So anyway, how it went was $47,284.75 went toward debt payments. So let me describe what those are. Debt payments are any credit card minimums that are due. That is the minimum on our mortgage. That would be our car loan, which we took on halfway through the year in June. We didn't start making car payments till probably August, though, by the time all the paperwork cleared, but still, you get my drift. So any minimums and also any credit cards that we work to keep a zero balance, we paid those balances. I hope that makes sense. Next up were our electronic sinking funds, which came to $45,326.79. You know what? How about we turn it? That way it will make it a little larger for us. So yeah, $45,000 went to our electronic sinking fund. So, you know, I'm a person who's a natural spender. So to see that type of money go to our own pockets, it's just crazy. Like, that feels so crazy to me. I am really proud of my spending habits. Now, am I happy with every single purchase that I made last year? No. But my overall, this is why I like looking at my numbers overall, I see improvement, because these other categories that we're going to talk about in a minute, they're usually way higher. Check out my budget reviews from 2020 and you will see what I mean. But anyway, electronic sinking funds included a major category, which was our kitchen reno / home renovation. So you can kind of get a sense of just how much money we spent improving our rental property in Maryland. So a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. That was hard. That was hard to let go of that much money. I have to admit, $45,000, I would say out of that mix, based on a rough estimate of my numbers that on stickies right here, I would say about 30 to 35,000 of the sinking fund money went to kitchen reno and home repairs and just upgrades and just anything that we needed to spend on the home. We were able to cash flow about 95% of all of our spending on the rental property, because we do have a tenant there, but we also wanted to improve the space because it is an older home. So we didn't want to go into additional debt to do that. So at the end of the day, I'm just glad that we had the money to do it. It's the whole reason Micah was working like crazy last year, so that we could still accomplish 2 goals. Like, how crazy is that? We paid off our rental property, which used to be our primary home, and we were able to upgrade the home itself. So still some work to do, definitely, but major improvements. Next were our savings. Our savings, y'all, came to $32,021.34. Extremely proud of our emergency fund progress. And it feels good to look at these numbers, because you don't really know how much money you've been throwing to the side. Overall, this is just so crazy to see these numbers. So again, this is all money that we ended up spending on our mortgage in the fourth quarter. This is all money that we ended up using because we did have some emergencies come up throughout the year. I had, a couple of deaths in my family. I had some personal things going on, some family members. Anyway, I just wanted to just throw that out there, that savings, as much as it feels good to save it and hold on to it, there's a feeling that I hadn't experienced before, where I was spending that money on things that really mattered. It wasn't stuff, it was situations. And to be able to have the money to get through those situations, those tough scenarios, it was awesome. We could focus on what was the situation going on and not on the money, if that makes any sense. And that was the first time in my life I've been able to have those type of moments. So let me know in the comments, have you ever had to blow your emergency fund on something? How do you recoup? Like, how do you fight feelings of guilt? How do you get inspired to save that money all over again? I need to hear from y'all in these comments, because we are going to be starting from scratch basically in this new year. Next up is rent. Rent got a total of $26,977.34. This is a new category for us. We have been temporarily living in Hawaii on a work assignment, my husband's job transfer, and they were completely covering the cost of our rent, utilities, car, gas, everything. That was the nice scenario we have been blessed to be a part of for the past 2.5 years. But we did sign on the dotted line halfway through the new year, halfway through 2021, sorry. And so it's crazy to even say this, but we spent $26,000 on rent for 6 months in Hawaii. So, tears, lots of tears. So that will continue into the new year. And so my goal is to decrease our spending, increase our sources of income, our side hustles, to cover that, so that we can still continue to knock out our consumer debt, which is what will be our main focus, and grow our savings and sinking funds back up. Next up, cash envelopes, y'all. This is why I love the power of cash. I saved $14,859.10 in cash last year. Now, the cash that you saw me save and count at the end of the year and put on our mortgage was just a portion. Throughout the year, I would use cash envelopes to fund our groceries, to fund spending, to fund beauty, personal, household, toiletries, whatever. I used cash, and it was painful because I was thinking about all the money that I could have been getting for cash rewards, but I had to think of my major problem, which is my spending habits. And so I was happy to spend and buy whatever we needed for our family, our home, and then walk out the door. There wasn't a better feeling than that. Not knowing that I didn't have to wait for it to come in the mail to look at that statement and pay it and be responsible enough to go and pay it. So I am a work in progress, y'all. So I am happy with that $14K. I would love to do that again in 2022. We will see. Now, kitchen reno, $10,022.13. Now, I had this separate budget set aside because this is money that we had saved up until it was time to start the kitchen reno. So we saved $10K. And then we got our first estimate and started talking to contractors and interviewing and sharing plans and looking at options. And so that was something I was proud of, is that we were able to save $10K separately before we even started the journey. We didn't know how much this stuff was going to cost. We didn't have a lot of people in our life who had done major renovations before. So we were, having to bob and weave and just try this thing ourselves. And that's what I'm most proud of, is we did this. We started a lot of the projects right before the pandemic started. And so to be able to finish it, deal with inflation, deal with, contractors who left on and just dropped everything and walked out the door one day, and being able to find replacement contractors. I'm just proud of what we did. What we did was amazing. So next up is personal money. This is money that would go to myself, Eva, and Micah to spend on whatever we wanted. $8,820 cash went to our accounts for the year 2021. I feel like that's really good. I don't know. I don't have a number of what I think would be good. I just think that looks good, because Micah works really hard. And if you're working and not being able to spend money on what you want, a certain percentage on, you shouldn't have to say, hey babe, I need money for deodorant, or I need money to buy this new video game. If you work hard, you should be able to set something aside each pay, because you need to see some results. You need to see your money going somewhere other than toward debt. So that's just me personally. I believe in diversifying your income and diversifying your spending. So again, this is just my personal opinion on my channel. Next up is food. Food came to $8,165.03. These are the receipts that I would plug in every time we went grocery shopping to like Sam's Club, Costco, Safeway, Down to Earth, Foodland, any of the stores that we shopped at, Walmart, so that I could kind of see what our money was going toward. This does not include, there was some moments where I just did not track it as close as I should have. It was just a lot going on. We moved, we traveled, Micah was working like crazy. So it was a lot going on. I was running my businesses. Eva started her own business. So, as much as we want to have it all together all the time, we just don't sometimes. We don't. And it's okay, because I know that at least $8,165.03 went to food. Okay, next up are our regular bills, which came to $6,280.06. Again, I feel like that's really good considering the income, and I really try to keep our spending as far as our bills very low. If we don't use something, like if Netflix, for example, I noticed that nobody was using Netflix for like 3 months straight. So instead of canceling it, I didn't cancel it, but I did lower it to the basic plan, which is like $8.99 a month. We were paying $20. And nobody noticed for like 6 to 8 weeks. And then finally, me and Micah did a movie night, and he was like, why is this so blurry? And I was like, oh, welcome. Well, I'll go ahead and log on and get you that HD quality back. So I just highly recommend just trying, we paid monthly for these services. Take full advantage that you had the monthly option and get rid of it for a month and see if anybody notices, including yourself. That was just an example, but I did that over and over with a lot of subscriptions, personal ones for the family, and it made a big difference with our budget. Next up is our property fund. This was something that we started late in the year, maybe like third, fourth quarter. This is after the major renovations were all done, but we still wanted to put money to the side just for whatever, for the property manager to have access to, for, maintenance, for whatever. And so that came to $4,306. We did end up emptying that and throwing it on the mortgage. Also, it is what it is. So we're starting fresh. Next is giving, which I will tell you is very skewed, but for purposes of recording, $2,948.86. I just like to keep that private. I share a lot of information with y'all. I choose to keep the giving separate and private. So I give to people in my personal life, people that I have never met before, organizations, corporations, all of that. And so that goes actually across our electronic sinking funds. I pull money from there, but it is what it is. Next up is miscellaneous, which came to $2,737.36. I am the type of person where I just like to categorize my money. So I'm not big on, I went to Target and, I spent $37 and, I spent $11 on groceries and I spent $22 on toiletries. I just like to say, hey, I went to Target. And so sometimes I don't give it, a food category or whatever. I'll just say it was miscellaneous. And that's just I don't know. You have to do what works for you in the season where you are. 2021 was very stressful for me because I was so worried about paying off the mortgage, and it's hard. I basically was living a double life. Like, I am living here in Hawaii and I'm living in Maryland trying to push through with these renovations virtually. Imagine, y'all. Imagine not being able to walk through your home as renovations are being done down to the studs. You just gotta hope for the best. And shout out to, you know, my tenants. Shout out to my property manager / you know, friends. Everybody, family, my mom and dad did walkthroughs for me. It took a village to get this thing done. So again, lots of grace. Next up is our buffer. We tried to keep $1,000 in our bank account at all times, but whenever it would go under, I would beef it back up. And so that came to $2,492.37. Then there was Eva. I also skew her numbers because, y'all, she's a kid and I spend way more on her than this number, but I also believe in a portion of privacy because she is a young lady. So she has her own business and all of that. So I just like to keep it that way. I don't really need to share the exact details. It came to about $1,468.36. Savings challenges. Now, this is something that I did not start carving out as a separate category until later in the year because I wanted to count up all my savings challenge money and make sure that it was enough to cover the mortgage, the last mortgage payment. And so it came to $1,337. When it got down to the wire, I was like, I need $1,337 to appear in our budget. Okay, we're gonna make this work. And we did it. We did it. Next up was my business, RochelleAdamson.com. It came to $1,045.79. It actually did come to more than this, but I cash flowed the upgrades. Like, I don't know if you guys, a lot of my subscribers are new who tune in now to my content, but my website, RochelleAdamson.com, did not always look so gravy. I always get amazing compliments on how, you know, my website is laid out and the color schemes and everything and how everything's matchy-matchy. I want to let you guys know I cannot take credit for that. My brand manager did all of that, okay? Social media, all my platforms, all my email, everything she created. I paid her to do that. I have her listed as a trusted partner on my website if you want to know more information, but y'all, it costs money to make money. But I can honestly say that I have made back all of the money that I cash flowed to pay her for this business upgrade and more. And so she's got testimonials, she's got all the proof. You can see she really does this. But anyway, I spent another $1,045.79 on building my physical product business. I was strictly digital. I love digital life, but I did want to start selling physical products such as my savings challenge book for those who did not understand how to print, or maybe you just like easy like me and you just want someone to do it for you. And so I did start doing that, but you know, you got to buy upfront materials, cash envelope binders, all that stuff costs money. But I'm very proud of this $1,000 because, you know, from that $1,000 spent invested, I have made several thousand. So I've reaped the rewards of that and more. Next is just miscellaneous shopping. Again, this is like my personal shopping. So if I put it in this category, this is how much Rochelle spent on stuff in 2021. And I'm really proud of this number. I have spent $900 on shopping. I'm a type of person, I have a rough history. If you've watched the first time around us paying off debt, you know how I roll. Like, it was nothing for me to go into Louis Vuitton on a Wednesday and turn up, okay? So this $900 speaks volumes to me. I'm proud of it. I did make some purchases, but nothing like the old Rochelle, so kudos. Tesla, I randomly had a payment that came to $888. I want to say that was the first car payment we ever made to our Tesla company, bank, lender. And I just carved it out separately just to make sure we had the money set aside in advance, because I don't play about month-to-month payments and all that. Like, I try to stay 1 to 2 months ahead on our Tesla car payments as far as money sitting and waiting to be used. Next up is our emergency fund, which came to $600. This year, we actually put a lot more to our emergency fund, but I categorized it in a different way, so it just shows up weird here. By the way, I'm using the spending tracker app, which is completely free to use in the App Store on Apple or any other, like the Google Play Store, wherever. I have reached out to the company, the developer who makes this app, and there are no referral programs. He doesn't even upgrade it, I don't think, anymore. But because so many people are still using it, I think he still does keep it active, but it's not something that he's currently working on anymore, it doesn't seem like. But anyway, this is not sponsored. I don't get any kickbacks, none of that. I highly recommend you find an app like this for free $99 to get started and budget your money. I do have the paid version of this free app, but I can honestly tell you it looks just like this if you have the free one. I didn't even buy the pro version until 2021. Okay, and that's just because I wanted to be able to use it on multiple devices. So I have a backup file and I can use this on the fly on my phone or on my iPad. Okay, so where do we leave off? Whew, I get to talking, y'all. I get to talking. You can see a lot of these numbers are just small. Gifts / electronic came to $572.32. Again, that's a number that's skewed. Eating out, I actually used to budget our eating out separately. I stopped doing that in the first quarter of 2021 because I was like killing myself trying to figure out, okay, if we spend $200 on groceries, that means we can only spend $49 on eating out. When I just said, you know what, we got $249 to spend on food for the week or for the next 2 weeks. You gotta go for what makes sense to you, what works in your current scenario. If you are too busy to be tracking stuff closely, do more broader tracking to, give yourself some grace. YouTube got $403.13. I bought a camera. That's the only purchase I have made to my YouTube channel. I still use the same $7 microphone. I still use the same phone mount when I don't feel like putting my camera together. I still use the same cash tray. All of this stuff is in my Amazon storefront. People ask me in my comments all the time. I'm always 3 to 5 days behind on comments. I have came up with a number that I'm happy with, that I can feel good about. I am 3 days behind on my comments at this point in time, but I respond to every comment except for the giveaway video. It was impossible. I had like 200 to 400 comments. I don't even know. I can't do that, but I can do all the other videos. So thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. You guys, you don't even know. That helps my videos get pushed into the YouTube algorithm so much. I go into more detail about this in my Budget Tuber crash course. I can't keep giving you all the game for free, but I do want to have I did want to put together a special course that went in deep dove into YouTube analytics and just what YouTube is all about. And if it's something you want to consider monetizing so that you can grow this thing into a side hustle, check out my links in my bio. But that really, a like of a video goes so far. So let's challenge ourselves this year. Right now, if you are feeling good about this content that you are watching right now, like the video, show your girl some free love. That's all you got to do. You don't even got to comment, just like it. I just want to see if it helps this video or if it doesn't. Thank you guys. Okay, then the rest of these, like I said, electronic family. Eva bought a Nintendo. I paid for it, but she gave me the money. Investments came to $281.07. That is additional money that I put toward my personal investments. I don't track Micah's investments. He never, it's too much. My business, I spent $254.07. That is not RochelleAdamson.com, and that is not YouTube. That is another business that I do. I got a few. Actually Travels. This is my baby, $183.42. I was a travel agent for many years for myself, independently, my own company. This panoramic, I don't feel comfortable booking travel for people right now. So it is on pause, but Amazon came to $150. Now this is back when I used to track Amazon. But then in the first quarter of 2022, I switched over to an Amazon sinking fund. And so I would just give us a certain amount of money every month to spend on Amazon. And that's what we do now. And when it's gone, it's gone. We can't buy anything. Self-care cash, Uber / Lyft was only $100 because we got a car. So I didn't need to use Uber anymore. But I used to spend hundreds every year living in Hawaii. And then Eva's business, she had a random transaction that came to $57.43, probably an annual renewal. Entertainment, I started tracking our Netflix. That is literally the only streaming service we pay for right now, for chilling and watching videos. And so yeah, I dropped that baby all the way down to $38.13 for the year because that's how much I was canceling it and nobody noticed. Bank fees came to $13.75, and that is because I kept our old bank. I just like them and I'm willing to pay for it. I don't even care anymore. So that is how we spent our money. Now, if you look at the breakdown, you can see the purple, which stands for our debt payments, like we talked about, came to almost 20%, 19.81%. So my goal in the year 2022 is to lower this category. I want to decrease our spending on our credit cards and really work on debt payoff. So we are right now just using our debit card, just trying it, just to see if these transactions are really things that we want or need, wants versus needs type thing. 18.99% went to our electronic sinking funds, 13.41% went to savings, 11.3% of our entire income for 6 months went to rent. Disgusting. 7.22% went to our debt snowball, which is our dedicated mortgage payment. So we put 7% of our entire income on the mortgage. These are principal only payments. 6.22% went to cash envelopes. 4.2% went to the kitchen reno. That was money that we saved before we even got any quotes. 3.69% went to personal. 3.42% went to food. 2.63% went to our regular bills. See what I mean? I try to keep the regular bills down. 1.8% went to our property fund. 1.24% went to giving, really was way more. 1.15% went to miscellaneous things. 1.04% went to our account buffer. 0.62% went to EVA. 0.56% went to savings challenges. 0.44% went to my website, RochelleAdamson.com. Shopping, 0.38%. Tesla, 0.37%, emergency fund, 0.25%, gifts, electronic, 0.24%, eating out, 0.19%, YouTube, 0.17%, family. You can see all these are very small. And so in the new year, I love this app because you could just tap and, hit the arrow. We'll go to the year 2022. You can start to see the things that we're already spending money on. And the reason why I like this app is this is the annual view right now. And so it will plug in how much, you think you're going to make as far as income each month, even though that month hasn't happened yet. So it's kind of like, it gives you that YNAB and that, oh my goodness, every dollar experience, cannot think of it, but it does it for free. And so that, every dollar is also free. I just like these additional features that it gives. Like you can look at your cash flow. Like if we go back to 2021, you can see how we spent our money every month. If you hover, you can see $19,000 one month, $23,000 another month, $28,000. Again, remember that is money that we would get as stipend. And so this is money we no longer get. So we really wanted to make this count. When we were getting these huge amounts of money in the first half of the year, you can really see it really made a difference. My husband was working overtime and getting a stipend. And so we really cash flowed a lot of things. And now that's over. You can see it drop down to 6.2%. And then, 12K, 22K again. That was probably one of the last payouts. 13K, and then 10K. And then 10K. Yeah. So our goal in the new year is just to bring in about 10,000 a month. That feels right to us. I am not the overachiever. I like to, if more income comes my way, of course I'll take it. But I am really big on lowering our spending. That's what I'm looking at in the new year. It's going to be my word for the new year is no. Everybody else's word is so cute and, thriving, growth, self-care. Y'all, my word is no, because I am not allowed to spend money. That is my goal. I do have a lot of things scheduled. I do have some guests that will be visiting, and so we will be budgeting for those planned trips. I have already discussed my financial scenario with my visitors who are friends more like family, and they support me. They are on board. They know it's not going to be no whole lot of going out to eat. It's going to be a whole lot of eating at home and doing a lot of free excursions, and they are so down for that because they just want to, come see us and come to Hawaii. So I encourage you to share your journey with the ones around you so that they can help you to succeed. And the people who are coming to visit me, some of them are debt free. Some of them are, Dave Ramseyers. And so it helps to have those type of people around. And I didn't have that before. And so that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see what we do in 2022. That's all I have for today's video. I hope this was helpful and gives you some ideas on how to track your budget annually. If you want to know another way that I plan to track our annual budget even more specifically in the year 2022, check out my video here, Eye in the Sky. It was a part of my 2022 Savings Challenge Prepper series. I talked about how to do an annual budget. That's all for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then.